Resolution is one of the most important topics that you'll face in design, but it can also be one of the most confusing, and a lot of designers actually get it wrong. So today we're discussing print resolution in Adobe InDesign, how to check it, which numbers matter, and which numbers don't. Here we have our sample layout with a collection of placed images, and we want to check over our page to make sure everything is ready to go to print. Now, you may know that the ideal print resolution for images is 300 pixels per inch. In printing terms, that generally translates to 300 dots of ink per inch. Technically, those numbers are a bit different from one another, but that's the easiest way to think of it. Now, while a resolution of 300 is ideal, in practice, anything between 150 and 300 will generally look okay when printed. Anything below a resolution of 150 is where you start to see a steep decline in quality. So, how do we check our resolution? Unlike Photoshop files, Adobe InDesign documents themselves do not have resolution settings. Instead, each of our placed images have their own resolution settings. So before we send our files to print, we should always check the resolution and make sure it's all ready for printing. To do that, we'll need the help of our Links panel. Now, if you don't have the Links panel active, you can bring that up by going to Window, Links, or use the shortcut Control-Shift-D or Shift-Command-D on a Mac. But since the Links panel is so vital to my workload, I always keep it parked over here on the side. Right now, all it's showing is a list of the links placed inside of our document. But if we select one of the images on our artboard, it also selects that same photo in our Links panel. Now, it may look like it's not telling us a whole lot, but if we click this caret down here at the bottom left of our Links panel, that brings up a ton of information about our placed photo. For example, we can see the photo is in JPEG format, and that the color space is set to CMYK, which is perfect for printing. Then down here, we see two very important numbers. One is labeled as Actual PPI, and the other is labeled as Effective PPI. Both of these numbers have to do with the resolution of our photo, but one of them is very important for printing, and the other one, not so much. So for this first photo, we can see the actual pixels per inch is 72, meaning that is the resolution of the original photo. So you might think that this photo is unusable for print because it has such a low resolution. But if we check our second number, we can see the effective pixels per inch is 527, well above the 300 pixels per inch that we need. So why is that number so much higher? If we scroll down a little bit more on our Links panel, we can see near the bottom that our photo is being used at only 13.7% of its full size. That means our pixels are more densely packed together than they would be if we were using the photo at its original size. So since we have all of those pixels packed into a smaller area, it has more than enough resolution to print at full quality. So that image checked out. What about our second? If we click on our second image, then our Links panel automatically updates to show the information for that image. And we can see that the actual pixels per inch of our second photo is 300 pixels per inch, meaning that the original photo had a resolution of 300. But this time, our effective pixels per inch is giving us two numbers, 995 by 858. But the previous photo only gave us one number here. So why do we now have two numbers? This tells us that our second photo has been distorted in some way. Somewhere along the line, it got a little bit squished. So we'll need to fix that before printing. Now, if we double click on our image, it shows the bounding box of the photo that's inside of our frame. And if we go to our properties panel and look at the frame fitting section, we can just press this first button that's labeled Fill Frame Proportionally. And immediately we can see that fixed the distortion on our image. So let's click on Properties again to close that panel. And now we can see our Links panel only has one number showing. So we fixed the distortion and the effective pixels per inch now looks great for printing. Now let's check the settings on our third photo. If we click on it, we can see it has an actual pixels per inch of 300. So you might think it's all set up for printing. But when we look at the effective pixels per inch, it says it only has an effective PPI of 86, which is well below our print standards. So if we sent this photo to print, it would come back grainy, pixelated, and low quality. And if we scroll down, we can see it's being used at 349.3% of its original size, meaning it was a very small photo that was blown up really large to fit the design. But that's not going to work for our print piece. We're either going to have to find a new photo for that space or find a higher resolution version of that photo. Alternatively, with new AI integrations in Adobe Photoshop, it may be possible to upscale this photo to print resolution. but that's a video for a different day. Let me know down in the comments if that's a video you'd be interested in. Now, the last thing I want to mention is not everything placed in InDesign has these resolution settings. If we click on our logo at the top of our layout, it doesn't give us a pixels per inch number at all. The reason for that is this is an Illustrator file which uses vector format, meaning it's built from points and curves, not rigid pixels. So we could make this logo as small as a pin or as large as a billboard, and it would look great either way. By comparison, if we click on the background of our header, we can see that this one is a Photoshop file, and in this case, the resolution is more than enough for a high quality print. So the file type of your placed files will actually determine whether or not your image has those resolution numbers or not. But it's always good to check all of your placed files before sending them to print. And that's my crash course on the resolution of placed objects in Adobe InDesign. Now, if you have any questions about resolution, or if there's anything you'd like me to expand on in a future video, let me know down in the comments. And now that you've learned all about image resolution in Adobe InDesign, how about learning more about your text? I have a video right here showing how to thread text across multiple frames or pages, and I hope you check it out.